Alright, partners, we are back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. And today's video is a request from our friend Brandon10653 over here. So Brandon asks, can we get a video showing who are the best units to give the new skills to? I want to know if I should just merge the Braves or save them for fodder. Okay, so yeah, all the Brave units pretty much came out with new passive skills to inherit on other units, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right into all of those and see if they're any good and which units you may want to give them to. So starting things off with Arc Rival, this is a new special from the Brave Balder. It's a 5-hit cooldown, but honestly, that's not even a problem anymore with just the sheer volume of cooldown pulsing effects and support and passives we've got now. A 5-hit cooldown special is actually a good thing, more so than a bad thing nowadays. So, when special triggers boost damage by X% of the greater of units or foes' attack. If you have weapon triangle advantage, X is 80, otherwise X is 70. So, it gets a little bit better if you've got weapon triangle advantage, but if you don't, it's still pretty good, X at 70%. Then you also reduce damage from foes' first attack by 40% on their brave attack as well. That would count as non-pierceable special DR, so that's already really good. Then you also inflict guard on the enemy per attack, and then also if you have weapon triangle advantage, you get special cooldown count -2 and inflict special cooldown count +2 on the foe. So it's like Rally Spectrum and Scowl kind of built in together. You do have to have weapon triangle advantage, but that's really strong, man. Giving Scowl on a special like that is really good, actually. And then you also get the Rally Spectrum helping to mitigate the 5-hit cost of this special here. So I think this is actually a really substantial skill that you're going to want to give to basically anyone who can get it for the most part. Unless for some reason they want to have a lower cost special. For most like big damage dealers, they're going to want something like this. So, available options for this are sword, lances, and axes, and looks like bows and daggers as well. So, basically all physical damaging units except beasts, because I don't know why, we just shaft beast units all the time. So yeah, very good special there. Next up, we have Swap Gate from the new Ecnirdir. This is a pretty good skill too. It's just Reposition Gate except Swap Gate. So, if you prefer using Swap to reposition, then go for this, but otherwise, I mean, Reposition Gate is perfectly fine. There's not really much of an issue. Same inheritance restrictions as well. So, yeah, this is just an arena skill for the most part. Alright, let's go ahead and move on now to some more juicy stuff. So, we got Attack and Speed Aria. This is a new ace skill inheritable from the Brave Sharena. Prerequisite is Attack and Speed Bond 3, which is pretty easy to get. So, if unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants a bonus to attack and speed equal to the max special cooldown count +7 during combat. And also, when unit special triggers, deals damage equal to unit's max special cooldown count times X, excluding on AoEs. And if unit triggers the brave attack effect, X is 3, otherwise X is 5. So this is pretty much a damage dealing dealing passive right here. You're going to want to give this to your big time damage dealers. It's limited pretty heavily in terms of who can get it. It's really only for tomes, and also all weapons or all movement types can get it, and then it's tome only. So a little restrictive there, but how does this stack up to the next best DPS A skill? So Sly Swift Sparrow gives you attack and speed up 8. And then if you've got over or equal to 2 bonus effects, or the enemy has equal to or over 2 penalty effects, then you get +5 damage in combat. So let's say that's 8 + 5, that's 13 damage. And if you're hitting the enemies twice, then the +5 would be +10. If you hit them 4 times, that would be +20. So obviously the +5 true damage from Sly Swift is going to scale up depending on how many hits you can land on the foe. Attack and Speed Aria, giving you your cooldown count +7 here. So let's say, on average, most units have a 3-hit cooldown, like Gust or Armored Blaze or Dragon's Roar or whatever. That's like the go-to, and it's also the median as well. 3 is in the middle, so we'll use 3-hit cooldown as the judgment here. Also, most units have -1 special trigger, so your 3-hit special is more like a 2-hit special. So 2 + 7 is 9. You're getting attack and speed up 9. And then when you trigger your special, you're dealing damage equal to max cooldown count times X. So let's say your cooldown count is 3, minus 1 from special trigger, minus 1. So you got 2 there, 2 times X, and then X is 5 if you don't have a Brave attack. So that would be plus 10 true damage when you trigger your special. That's pretty good. This is going to be more so beneficial to units that are not hitting a lot of times. Like units that don't have Brave attack or Potent are probably going to want to use this instead of using Slice with Sparrow, which I would say the more times you're hitting the enemies, this is going to scale a little bit better. And this would be more so better if you're just hitting once or twice. So for nuking units like big time special damage dealers, like a unit, for example, who deals big time damage in one special hit? Like, what's his face? Ronin, right? Ronin does a lot of damage in one hit. So maybe this would be something for him. Not attacking speed splits, though. He would probably want, like, attack res aria. But that was just the quickest example I could think of in my head. And then units that are hitting multiple times, like Brave Camilla, even though she's got trample, but, like, a unit that hits multiple times, maybe has the Erica ring equipped, they would prefer to go for Swift Sparrow. So there we go for the A skill. Alright, next up we have Speed and Res Shackle. This is going to be a new B skill also on the Brave Sharena. Prerequisite is Chill Speed and Res 2, which... Actually, let's quickly take a look at who gets that. Is this easy or hard to get? Let's see here. Okay, it's on Homer, who is a demo character, but he's pretty recent, though. Yeah, actually, it's not that easy to get this prerequisite, but... Homer is in the demote pool, so I guess over time you're going to be able to get more copies of that. So, Speed and Res Shackle, at the start of turn and after your unit acts. So, similar to Valentine Edelgard in this regard. Inflict Speed Shackle and Res Shackle on the closest foes and foes in 2 spaces of that foe through the next action. Pretty easy condition to activate this debuff here. Now, if we look at the similar B skills for debuffs, Speed and Res Havoc and also Speed and Res Discord, both of these require you to win a res check. So you got to have higher res than the enemy for them to get hit by this. And Speed and Res Shackle doesn't care. You just start the turn, you hit them with it, and then you end your action, you hit them with it. So this is just more easy to use. You don't need high res to use it, but it's a little bit more restricted here. You can only give this to cavalry and flyers. Speed and Res Havoc can only be given to infantry and flyers, and then Speed and Res Discord, again, is for infantry and flyers. So, flyers can get Shackle, which is interesting, and then cavalry, who can't get Discord or Havoc at all, they can just go for Shackle instead, which is perfectly fine. Then also inflicts Speed and Res -4 on the foe and deals damage equal to the number of penalty effects active on the foe times 2 plus 7 with a max of 15. You're going to need 4 different penalty effects on the foe to get the maximum, and you're already getting 2 here. You're getting Speed Shackle and Res Shackle, so that would already count for 2 status debuffs. So you just need 2 more and you're cooking pretty much. So overall, very good skill, actually. The ease of use for this, I think, is very substantial, and I would say overall, for the units who can inherit this, if you want to give them a debuffing type of passive, that would be better than both Havoc and Discord, actually. So there's my thoughts on that. Alright, let's go on to the next new B skill we got here, Null Sea Avoid. This one's on the Brave Byleth, and the prerequisite is Velocity 3. Really? Like, that's so random. Why not just Null Sea Disrupt? But okay, I guess velocity is what they wanted to go for. So this skill, if you compare speed to a foe or ally's speed, then you get speed +7 just for the check. So kind of like Phantom Speed Light. Reduce damage from AoE specials by 80%, excluding Rooker AoEs. And then also inflicts attack and speed -4 on the foe. Deals damage equal to the difference between speed stats +5 with a max of 15. And then if unit speed is less than the foe's speed, treats the speed difference as 0. Yeah, because if you would have counted it as max, then you would be getting negative damage here. So that's why they had this little caveat. And then also reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit speed. And neutralize effects that prevent units' counterattacks during combat. So you're getting Null Sea Disrupt out of this, which honestly is not even that important anymore because it's easy to outsource. You can get it from Fell Spirit support. You can get it from the Ice Tribe. Who was it? I think it was Felicia. Or was it Fiora? One of those two. They were able to give that as support, ally support. It's also an Echo skill, which is probably the simplest way to get Null Sea Disrupt. So it's not really that big a deal anymore. Especially running a hard passive to get Null Sea, that's not really what you want to do anymore. You would just be running a skill for DPS or debuffing or support or something like that. So in terms of DPS, it's not too shabby. You're getting 15 points of true damage potentially while dropping the enemy's attack and speed. And you also get Phantom Speed for the check too. So it's not going to be that tough to get the max of 15 here. Now, the closest contemporary skill to this in the B slot would be Potent Finish. It's going to be dependent on which one of these you like a little bit better, because they are very close. They have nearly identical inheritance restrictions, except Beasts are able to get Potent Finish, and they can't get Null Sea Avoid. Once again, we're just shafting Beasts for no reason. But a Potent Finish here gives you potentially plus 15 true damage as well, if you're special triggered or if it's ready before or during combat. Then you get the 7 flat DR, which is similar to the 20% speed-based DR you would get from this. I think the 7 flat DR is better, though, from Potent Finish. You're also doing speed and defense -4. Defense -4 may be better than attack and speed -4, because this could help you deal more damage overall. You get a little bit of a healing effect there after when you deal damage to the foe mid-combat heal, which is always better than after-combat heal. And then you also get Potent Follow. So just a free 3rd attack or 5th attack, depending on if you can Brave Attack or not. So I think actually Potent Finish is better. If we're just talking, you're looking for a DPS type of skill. Although Null Sea Avoid, I wouldn't say that it's completely out of a job. Like, there are some instances where you may want to use this, and it is giving some interesting other effects too. Like, the AoE protection is pretty cool. And then also, of course, Null Sea, even though I went on a tirade just downplaying it, it is still handful to have, right? So, like, in certain uses, you may want Null Sea Avoid, but for the most part, if you're just trying to deal a lot of DPS, I would say Potent Finish is better. And then finally, we have this now. So, attack and defense, Briar, physical save. So, with the introduction of physical and magical save skills, this is a really interesting take here. And I actually think this might be a viable skill for a lot of units. Because if you think about it, right now, there's not too many magic damage dealers you got to watch out for. There's like Summer Celica, and I guess the new Brave Sharena could be a potential one. But, like, most of the range damage dealers we've seen have been bow types or dagger types lately. So having physical save rolled into near save, it feels like this might be enough to just like hold you over for all of your save skill needs. So I think this is really good. And then it's still got the Briar effect where you get the reflex damage, you get the 5 flat DR, and you're getting the stat bonuses and all that stuff. So I actually think this could be a viable and worthy option for a save skill. Definitely Burger King will enjoy having something like this. But it hits even harder, of course, on Ectornir, who can also give an ally magic save just to cover all your bases, and even give you just double saves if you're in Chaos Season or Summoner Duels. So this is definitely worthwhile and worth looking into. But it just comes down to if you're worried about mages showing up, which they do actually show up, so it's not like you're never going to run into mages. I just think that this does have a valid niche that it can fill, considering that right now the bows and daggers do feel a little bit stronger. So yeah, this one would be optional. Not really something to hastily make an adjustment for, but something to consider, food for thought. And that pretty much covers all of the new specials and assists and passives that we've gotten here. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I wouldn't hastily just fodder one of your Brave units just to get these passives, honestly, because they're all like either side grades or slightly better than a previously extant skill. So that's my take on these, but Arc Rival is pretty nuts. So that's going to wrap us up. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.